I think I extended all your homework. It took me an act of Congress to do it because WebAssign would not let me do it. I'll wait till everybody gets finished talking before I start. Is everybody finished? Are y'all finished? Y'all finished? Okay. I tried to extend everybody's homework, and I think I did it. But if I didn't, just let me know, because WebAssign was acting stupid the other day. So every time I tried to move the homework, it said I couldn't save it. So I tried to extend it like 8 times, and it wouldn't do it. So then I had to go to another part of WebAssign and drag each one of the homeworks over to another section, and it saved it. So if it didn't, then it's not my fault. I tried to do it several times. I hope it did it. Let's put a problem on the board, and let's go ahead and get into disk and shelves. Disk and washers and shelves and all that good stuff. So y is equal to x cubed. Y is equal to x. And you want to revolve around the x-axis. Now, the first thing you want to do is draw it.
Hubert.
Yes.
Ahmed says he can't hear you.
Well, y'all can hear me. There's something wrong with his. Can y'all hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, Ahmed, it sounds like something. Let me type it in. Hold on. I don't know. Speakers. I don't know. What else could it be?
Could be on mute. Could turn down all the way.
Mute.
Can you mute on Skype itself? I know
Yeah, right here. You can mute your microphone.
Yeah, that's what it's
Y'all try to help him out via the texting or whatever it's called, IM, because if everybody hears me and one person doesn't, then we all know that the one person has a problem, evidently, with speakers, mute. The application may need to get out and come back in. I don't know. Just y'all keep me advised on what he decides to do, because I got to minimize.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. At least he can see what we're doing. All right, the first thing you want to do is draw it. Second thing you want to do is find your intersection points. And that's standard. You do that out of your area. So 1, draw it. 2, find the intersection points. And then 3, set up your interval. Now, of course, I gave you the, of course, I don't have them up here. Let's see if I can find them, because I passed those out to everybody. If you didn't get them, I'm sorry. I do good to make handouts for classes. If you're not here to get them, then don't get mad at me if I don't have them anymore. I pretty much suck at it. Let's see if I can find them. There's the original. So y'all go ahead and work on that. I think these are it. Somebody's tapping it. Sounds like somebody's trying to make music on Skype. Here's the handouts that I handed out the other day. Anybody needs one? They're on Google. All you got to do is just Google it and print. It's a lot of work, so I did it for you. Are we making progress in there? Is he finding your, is he finding how to find, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What was wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I couldn't figure it out, but it's working now.
Okay. All right, so everybody's with us, and I don't know, Mr. Graham, let's see if he's still, let's see, he hasn't texted. Maybe he'll come back in a little bit. So when you graph these guys, we'll look something like, I don't know, something like this. Okay, now of course, they could go down here, but most of the time when you're in the first quadrant, you're going to be going with a first quadrant parameter, and they'll tell you in the directions if you're going to go from 0 to 1 or whatever the case may be. In this case, they just say y is equal to x cubed, y is equal to x, and it's revolved around the x-axis. So that means you're going to have some kind of, I'm just drawing this for your visual. But you're going to have some kind of I can't draw in 2 dimension, 3 dimension, and 2 dimension. But you're going to have some kind of, I wouldn't say a bowl, but it's going to be some kind of weird looking bowl. Okay? You got to picture it, okay? You're not talking about the area of
Priority 1 message coming in on secure
so
channel.
that sucker's coming around this way, and it's looking like, y'all help me out here. Is that pretty much what it looks like? Something like that? Yeah, y'all wouldn't know what funnel looks like. Y'all college students, y'all don't know what funnel looks like. Okay, so is that kind of a thick funnel in the middle? Something like that? All right, so we got to set it up, and you set it up using your handy dandy handout right there, which would be the outside radius minus the inside radius, because this is a washer. It's not a disc or shell or disc washer, whatever. Volume around the x-axis, so it'd be that second one, washer. So here is your x-axis, and I'm going to take my handy dandy red marker. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Take my red marker, and I'm going to put a line here, and then take my blue marker and put a line here. Remember, your formula is going to be pi on the outside, and then your outside radius minus your inside radius. From A to B, your outer radius minus the inner radius squared dx. Now you can leave the pi on the outside, or you can distribute the pi. Either one, doesn't matter to me. We're going to come out with the same answer. So go ahead and figure out which one's the outer radius and which one's the inner radius. Well, that's easy to do if you look at the rotation point. The rotation point is right here. So which one's the outer radius? X. Which one's the inner radius? Q. So I'm going to take my red marker and I'm going to put X right there, and my blue marker and put X cubed right there. And then I'm going to fill in the rest, and I'm going to let y'all do the problem. Because there's still something you hadn't, well, I haven't done up here, but you need to do, and I need to do, and that's find the intersection points. All right, get to it. Let's see if that was Mr. Williams. All right, let's see if that looks like him. So let's add Mr. Williams now. Yeah, y'all have to find out what that desktop thing is and let me know so I can make fun of it. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't do that, should I? I've been trying to do this for the last 3 years and they laughed at me. And then when they decide that it's important, guess what? Everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
People don't even know how to do training around here. Hey, Mr. Williams. I think Mr. Williams is going to join us now. Well, I thought I added him. There he is. Mr. Williams, did you make it, sir? I don't know how I did that. How did I do this? I see Mr. Williams there. Are you there, Mr. Williams? Type it in if you can hear me. I see your picture. Okay, I think I hear him. Did y'all hear that tap tap? Glad you could join us, Mr. Williams.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if you got a question, just blurt it out. If you see a question, blurt it out because I got to minimize. Can you see the, wait a minute, I got to present desktop again. Can everybody see the desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, I have to do that every time somebody comes in. Okay, back to the problem.
A Gmail has just arrived.
So where is the intersection points? 0 and 1. How'd you find those? You just guess. Yeah, guessing is good. Actually, you just set them equal to each other or use the calculator. Now, as functions get more and more complicated, use the calculator. Find the intersection point. Don't spend a lot of time trying to find the intersection point between two cubic functions. That would be nightmarish. So, just do what the thing said. Usually, most of the time, they're going to be in the first quadrant, and they're going to be pretty simple. All right. So, but anyway, x cubed is equal to x. X cubed minus x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. X squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And you're going to get 0, negative 1, and 1. We only need 0 and 1. So pi from 0 to 1 of x squared minus x to the 6th dx. And then that's going to give us at pi times x to the 3rd over 3 minus x to the 7th over 7, evaluated at 0 and 1, and then that's going to equal pi times 1/3 minus 1/7, and 21 is equal to pi And that's going to be 21, 7 over 21, minus 3 over 21, which is 4 pi over 21. Somebody check my math. Yes, Hubert, that's right. No, Hubert, that's wrong. Appreciate the interaction. Any questions? Now that's your basic, I guess you'd call it a disc. I mean a washer. Volume by washer, because you've got an inside radius and outside radius. Now let's go ahead and do one that is got to do the same problem, except this time I'm going to put the rotation point not at X. I'm going to put it at -3. Okay, so now instead of X being the rotation point, now the rotation point is at X is equal to -3, or Y, sorry. Y is equal to -3. Now do it. Your A and B is going to be the same, your function is going to be the same, the setup is going to be about the same, only the outside and inside radiuses are going to change based on that too. Now, if the distance is below, is that going to be the same if the distance is above? No, it's not. That's what we're fixing to show you. And the reason I use this basic model is this is the best type of function, this curvature function with the straight function, to show if the rotation point is below or the rotation point is above. It's the best. That's the best kind of combination right there to show students the difference between the rotations. So at this point, go ahead and set this one up. I'm trying to find my marker. Set this one up and use this new rotation point. This is going to stay the same. The 0 and 1 is going to stay the same. That's going to change, and that's going to change. And that's why the graph is so important. The graph is very important. I left my jelly beans here yesterday. Let's see. Now, the biggest thing you got to realize is what are you doing basically this is 3 units, right? Does everybody agree with that? It's 3 units. So the outer radius is going to be the same radius you had plus what? Plus 3. So whatever it was in the first problem, x plus 3 or 3 plus x, it doesn't matter because addition is what? Commutative. And the second one is going to be x cubed plus what? X cubed plus 3. Now, again, the most important thing for you to realize here is that right there is adding. Because in the next problem, it's not going to be adding. And the only way that you see that is with the graph.
Faith asks, how do you know to cube it?
That was the original Faith. That was the original the equation right up here. The cube is already there. The cubic function is the curve. Does that help, Faith? If somebody tells me if she says yes or no.
She said yes.
Okay. So
Oh,
work that out. Well, what do? Well, you sit there and stare at it for 15 minutes, right? Because we haven't went over integration by parts yet, or we haven't went over, well, you don't need to do integration by parts. Remember, what is 90% of calculus? What are you going to use?
I have one question.
Number 1, Hubert. That's right, class. Oh, you are so good at algebra. I'm glad y'all didn't just sit there and stare at it.
Ahmed has a question.
Oh, what is it, Ahmed?
So
Yes, sir.
why do you add +3? No.
Because that's the new rotation point. See right here?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes
Y
sense.
equals 3. Y is equal to
Okay.
-3. This is in the equation. This is in the question. The question is going to give you the rotation point, whether it's the x-axis, the y-axis, or y is equal to -3.
Okay.
This is the second example. The second example is the rotation point is y is equal to 3. So change that y-x-axis up there.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Change this right here to rotate around y is equal to -3. How's that? Is that better?
Yep.
So that's going to be pi from 0 to 1, because from the previous we know this is 0 and this is 1. We don't care about the y, because we're not revolving around the y-axis. So, and that's going to be x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus x what? X to the 6th. Oh, hold on. Let's put that right there. Plus 6x to the 3rd plus 9. Okay, finish it out. Huh? Well, if I'd known that just 5 people were going to show up this morning, I would have brought everybody biscuits. But if I'd have bought biscuits for everybody, I would have bought 20, and then nobody would show up, and then I'd have to eat biscuits for 3 days. Well, that's what happens when I buy biscuits. I take them home, and I eat on them for 3 or 4 days. You don't throw food away. I grew up on a farm. You don't throw food away. Give it to somebody that needs it, or you eat it yourself. that's going to be pi from 0 to 1 of x squared, blah, 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 blah. The x squared is not going to be affected. The x to the 6th is not going to be affected. So what is that? Negative x to the 6th minus 6x cubed plus x squared. And then you might be able, the negative 9 and the positive 9 does what? But the 6x still is there. So plus 6x, is that what y'all got? I'm going to have to shrink this down. Did I tell y'all about the teachers that we had an email, the department email about the boards in the rooms at Pendleton campus? Did I tell y'all about that? Okay. So, hold on. Let me finish doing this for y'all. And let me go and, because these words can incriminate me. So I'm gonna go down here and dang old turn the what you call it off. I don't know how to work this thing. I done got it all mixed up. How did I do this? What? This one? Thank you. And now I gotta find it again. There we go. Hallelujah. Alright, so let me hit stop, pause recording. Remind me to start it back up. I've been watching too many movies. I sound like my cousin Jimmy. They still make them things. I can't. Are you serious about that? Okay, I'll shut up. I thought it was fun. My Cousin Vinny, classic movie. I love to watch that movie. Yeah. I'm not going to ask IT anymore. They can't find the freaking stuff. Alright, so here we go. Pi. And that's going to be negative x to the 7th over 7 minus 6 x to the 4th over 4 plus x to the 3rd over 3 plus 6x squared over 2. No coughing in class. Evaluated at 0 and 1. And you can, let's see if I did that. I don't know if I did that one or not. I think I did, yeah I did. No, I didn't do that one. I just, Dr. Harden, I don't know. Dr. Harden would always grunt when he didn't want to do anything. So he just put 3 dots up there. And that meant, and that means you know how to do that. So pi, what is that, negative 1/7 minus 6 over 4 plus 1/3 plus 6 over 2. And then you can simplify. You can simplify before or after. I don't care when you simplify, but you're going to have to get the common denominator. Okay? All right, now that's when the rotation is below, but what if it's above? Well, let's do the same problem. And this time, let's say that this guy changes to a 5. All right, now you do it. Change it to a 5. And see what happens. Yeah, I sent back one that said, really all you need is the Epson projection with Epson board. I said, if you don't use the Epson board, then you might as well not even order the projection system because it goes together. And this is more stable than a Promethean or a smartboard because they can be wavy, and the waviness, minute waviness, can mess up the calibration. And I put that in the email. And then I said, infinite board space, able to do anything you want, record, blah, 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 blah. And then I got a reply saying, we need more whiteboard space. Now, these are the same people that wrote, when we first had email, these are the same people that wrote the entire email in the subject line. About 2 years after we got email. Gotta love it. You'll find this out when you get into, if you haven't already found out in the real world. Oh, this pisses me off. I asked for mayonnaise and mustard. They gave me grape jelly and mustard. That's okay on a sausage biscuit because that's good, because that's what's on your wings in your barbecue crock pot. Grape jelly and mustard. But on a steak biscuit, it ain't worth the flip. So, damn Russians. Oh, did y'all see on the news this morning? You know who is being blamed for all the killing in Syria? Donald Trump. They said that the reason those people are dying in Syria is because Donald Trump is president. Can somebody in here tell me when Syria started? 2011, Hubert. That's right, class. Let's see, who was president in 2011? Oh, you're racist. Shh. It's Bush. Bush's fault. You know what? And I don't mean this with all Democrats, but some of these Democrats, some of these nut jobs, they're ruining it for the Democratic Party. They are making fools out of the Democratic Party. They need to, as my grandfather used to say, keep the mouth shut. All right, so now, instead of having this, we're going to have this. I'm going to get rid of that little red line up there. Just going to take everything out, but watched 2 cheesy horror movies last night. One was Charlie's Farm. The other one was Camp Hale. They were pretty much a waste of my time, but I watched them anyway. Out of the 2, I think neither one of them was good. One of the truth about it. But what? I tell you what, I don't know if it was called Mama or Mother and Annabelle. Those 2. I tell you what, those 2 are stupid. They made me. It's got the tea factor. How much tea did you actually spill? I say tea, but, you know, we drop beer, drop drink or whatever, but I say tea. And I would say probably Annabelle and, is it mama or mother? I think it's mother.
What is that about?
It's about this mother spirit that wouldn't go away. And she stayed in the house, and this family moved into the house, of course, Amy to go hard. Family moves into the house, and it's hard. I mean, it just gets traumatized. And the only one that can see it is the mother of the family, and she thinks she's going crazy, and she's not. But at the end, the mother spirit takes one of the children. And it's really, I can't believe y'all hadn't seen that. It's rough. It's got a T factor of 2. And Annabelle has a T factor of 3 because it actually made me drop my beverage. So it was pretty rough. But I love making fun of the people, the stupid people in Friday the 13th. And I like making fun of those people. Hey, let's go back into the house.
It's room stairs.
Yeah. You ever seen that Geico commercial? Hey, we could get into that running car and leave. No, let's run into that shed full of chainsaws. I love making fun of those people. You ever notice 3 things about a horror movie? There's no cell phone service. You have to walk a mile from your car to get where you're going. And there's always a woman that lives through the whole thing. Never the man, because the man's too stupid, right? Now, from here to here is how many units?
1. Oh.
5 units, right? So are we going to add to the 5 or subtract from the 5? We're going to subtract from the 5. So, and that's the biggest thing I want you to see, because when you're setting up these problems and you have a long, elongated revolution, which means not the x-axis, but y is equal to 2, y is equal to -2, you have to visualize so you know whether you're adding or you're subtracting. So, pi from 0 to 1, outer radius minus what? Inner radius. The outer radius is the blue. Now, why is it the blue this time? Because the revolution point is above the function. Before it was the inner radius, now it's the outer radius. So that's going to be what? Well, that's the x cubed function, but it's 5 minus what? 5 minus x cubed. That's right, class. No, just change the problem now. Right. And what's the other radius? 5 minus x. Okay, finish it. Or at least get it to a point where you plug and chug, please. Get it to that point. And you're going to find out that 80 to 90% of these problems are what? Algebra. So you can go with the, if you suck at algebra, you're going to suck at this. And that's pretty much true. Did y'all see where Canada said that it would take all of the refugees? Did y'all see that? And then what happened yesterday or the day before yesterday? A bunch of people got shot at a mosque shooting. These people are crazy. I'm sorry, they're crazy. Just like Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We went over to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and there was about 15 protesters went over there holding up signs that said, we love you, peace in the Middle East. They cut their heads off. Yeah. I don't care what color you are, I don't care what if you are from the U.S., you are an infidel. You are a POS. I don't care if you love them or not, they're going to cut your head off. They're radical people. I just don't understand why people can't get that in their head. What, the KKK, they're crazy. And the KKK was predominantly white people, but that doesn't mean all white people are crazy. At least I'm not crazy. Everybody else may be. We've got to go backwards on these. Why can't you turn them around? Well, you could if you wanted to, but you got to carry the sign with them. That's going to be a mess. So pi from 0 to 1 of 25 minus 2x cubed. Wait a minute, that should be 10, shouldn't it? Now it's a highlighter. It was an eraser, now it's a highlighter. Sorry. That would be 10x cubed minus x to the what? 6? What? And then minus parentheses or brackets. 5. See, when you go backwards, it messes your brain up. You're dyslexic. 5, that's 25 minus 10x plus x squared. So that's going to be pi 0 to 1, 25 minus 10x cubed plus x to the 6th minus 25 plus 10x minus x squared. The only thing I say goes out is what? 25s, so that's going to be negative 10x to the 4th over 4 plus x to the 7th over 7. What? Be a negative, could be positive. So 10x squared, wait a minute. Yes. 10x squared over 2 minus x to the 3rd over 3. Evaluated at 0 and 1 multiplied by pi. Now, at this point, you say to yourself, well, this is nice and dandy, but who in the world is ever going to ask me between these two? You're going to be asked, especially a mechanical engineer, you're going to be asked a lot of stuff like this. 3-dimensional objects, you're going to try to find the area. Civil engineers find an area under a curve in a highway, a horizontal curve or vertical curve, finding cut and field. You've got all kind of applications for this. But do you sit here and do this, or does the computer programmer in computer engineering or computer science figure out how to get this into the computer. Yes, that's what happens. And then all you have to do is type in the radius, type in the distance, type in whatever, and it spits out the volume. And volume, especially with vertical curves going into a valley between two mountains, vertical curve with cut and fill, that's volumes. Okay? So that's going to be pi times negative 1/4 plus negative 10/4 plus 1/7 plus 10/4, 10 halves minus 1/3, and then you get whatever you get there. Most of the time, I'm just going to ask you to set it up, but every once in a while, I'll get you to do the math just so you don't forget how to do tedious math. Okay? And that is pretty much the section on, the first section on disc and shells. Disc and washers. We did 5. Now what about the y-axis? Well, you go around the y-axis, but before I don't want to do that yet. Okay. Do that. Go around the y-axis. Anybody remember what you got to make sure of when you go around the y-axis? Quit. Erase it and make it go around the x-axis. Yeah, you can always do that. Well, just remember that if you have a function and you're going around the y-axis, that, let's say you have a function that's looking like that, and you're going from C to D. You want to have this area right here. You're revolving around them. That's not going to be anything but the antiderivative with pi out front from C to D of g of y squared. So you have to have this in terms of y. X is equal to g of y. So what you need to do on anything that is around the y-axis is you have to think in terms of y, so therefore you have to make your equation in terms of y. Sometimes the teacher's not going to give you the equation in terms of y, so you have to put it in terms of y, and that's the trick. Okay, so let's go with an example, and this is your, add this to your sheet if it's not on there. I don't know what's on there, I just had 4. Is that one on there? Yeah, it's on there. It's the first one. Okay. So, let's go with y is equal to square root of x. Y is equal to 1. Y is equal to 4. And it's about the y-axis. Now, that's all I'm going to give you. That's all you're given. Now do it. That means what? Sketch it. Find your boundaries. And then set it up. Now this whole sketch it, find your boundaries, and set it up is leading to the rates and the work problems. Because if you were in my Calc 1 class last semester, what did we do? Sketch it, set it up, or find the boundaries and set it up. Yeah, we're going to have a test on this pretty soon. Probably, I'll know more about the test Thursday. I'll probably post the test Thursday. So that means you need to get your homework done up to this stuff.
Now, I've been locked out of my email for the past 2 days. Did you send anything out about that test?
No, I hadn't made a test yet.
Okay.
Said we talked about it this week. If you need to check your email, call 646-1779 and find out why you're locked out.
Yeah.
Don't need to do integration by parts, that's next unit. Yeah, just leave it on there, don't do it. Integration by parts, you don't need to do that homework. If you do it, fine. If you don't, fine, okay? It's gonna be unit 2. I'll change it to unit 2 later.
Faith says that she's been locked out too.
Well, that's because I don't like Faith. What? Yeah. Yeah. Be glad to, or just send me a couple of questions and I'll go over them. I don't mind going over them. It's whatever you want to do. Faith, call 646-1779. I don't know why you'd be locked out of it. I have no idea. I've never been locked out of my email, so if you don't change your password, when they tell you to change the password, it's like the act of Congress to get it back enabled. So if they tell you to change your password, change it right then, right now. Don't wait till the 13th day and you've had 12 days, because then you're in the Congress mode. You have to go through 2 or 3 levels to get it reinstated. That's probably why the password. Oh gosh, I did that one time. Oh my gosh. It was like pulling hen's teeth to get it. I had to go through 3 different avenues to get it reinstated. Huh? Because that way it's always changing. You change it every semester, or every other semester you change it. Yeah, I've changed mine 20 times because this is my 20th year. So hopefully y'all can draw it. First thing you need to do here is change this in terms of what? Y. So square both sides. So x is equal to what? So now you sketch it. And basically you get something, the square root of x looks like this, but you don't call it square root of x now, you call it what? Y squared. Because you're going around the y-axis. And y is equal to 1. And y is equal to 4. And this is what you're basically, so you're going around the y-axis, so this is going to look something like a what? It's going to look like a vortex, wormhole, another funnel. It's going to look something like that. But it's going to be solid. So it's going to look like a fancy doorknob. You know the fancy crystal doorknobs? They don't look like a cone, but they're fancy, but they're solid. That's going to look like something like that. Versus a funnel that's not solid. Okay? Question, right, complaint. Okay. So we're going to set this one up. And it's going to be from 0 to, I don't have a point on it. I'm sorry. Don't have a point on it because it goes to 1. Training. There we go. I figured it out one time. You do something like this. You hold it. No. Training. You be training. All right, set it up. Integration. From 1 to 4 of your function squared dy. Pi 1 to 4 of something squared dy, and that's going to be what? Pi squared. So pi antiderivative from 1 to 4 is y to the 4th dy. Finish it out. That's going to be what? Y to the 5th over 5. Y to the 5th over 5. Evaluated at 1 and 4 times 3. And that's going to be what? 4 to the 5th over 5. 4 to the 5th over 5. Minus 1 over 5. And 4 to the 5th is going to be some VA number. What is that? 16 times 16. And 16 times 16. Well, 14 times 14 is 196, 225. 16 times 16 is 216. No, 225, 256. Somebody check me. What is 16 times 16? I'm sorry, I heard it. So that's 256 over 5 minus 1 over 5 is 254, 255 over 5, which is going to be 5, 51, 51, huh? Okay, no, I didn't know.
You forgot to look at it.
So what is it? 1,001? 1,024 divided by 5, which is 1,023. 1,023 divided by 5, which is 204. 204 times 5, which is around 600, or 3, which is around 600. So 600 cubic units are in that funnel shape. Now, you notice I didn't use 3.14 because I'm not Rain Man, and I'm going to sit up here and try to multiply 3.14 times, no. And if you can do that, you don't need to be at Tri-County State. You need to be in Las Vegas. Dang, oh, that's where I'd be. Dang, old 21. You ever seen that movie? Dang, oh, he's a dumbass. He was. He was. Yeah, Kevin Spacey got his butt whooped in that. Anyway, I'd gone about that a different way if I was him. All right, good. Everybody good on this one? Now, what if I change it a little bit and make it look like this? And I decide to give you f of x is equal to negative x squared plus x. Y is equal to 0 and about the y-axis. Now this is your last one, which is volume around the y-axis. This is a washer or a shell. Yeah, it's a shell, but it's set up about the same way. Your radius times your what? Your height. Think of it like this. You're going to spin this thing around, and I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm just going to act like that's a hair, width of a hair. And the distance between that hair and the y-axis is x. So that's another way of saying what? The what? The radius. If I'm spinning this thing around the y-axis, and it's moving, then what is that called? What is radius called? X. Everybody with me? Now I'm going to start here, and I'm going to end right there. But I'm revolving around the y-axis. And that's the one. I'm just going to give you that. That's the one right there. So what is, if x is the radius, what is the function? Not y, but what? Remember, you're doing the radius times the what? The height. So what is the function? Yeah, this one's not on there. This is shell. The shell, and all you got to do is add 2 pi to it, is 2 pi antiderivative from A to B, or wherever you're going, C to D, whatever, it doesn't matter, of the radius times the height. Now another way you'll see that written in the book is 2 pi A to B x what? F of x dx. But I don't like to show it like this. I like to show it like this because what is your volume? Radius times your height. So, do this problem. Set it up. What is it going to look like? Somebody tell me what it's going to look like. Something in the kitchen. I was thinking more of a utensil, something you use in the kitchen. But that's a good. Now it probably wouldn't be shaped like avocado. A what? I heard enunciate the volume. You ever seen a Jell-O mold or a bundt cake? That's what it'll look like. If you don't know what a Jell-O mold or a bundt cake or a bundt cake is, don't tell anybody. It's your parents' fault. And go Google it and find out what it is before you look ignorant in front of somebody. I'll pull it up because y'all are too lazy to. What? B-U-N-D-T? Something like that. God, I hope I don't hit Amazon. I barely hit Amazon and I end up with something in 2 or 3 days. What the? Yeah, something like that. Huh? Yeah, I'm a pie eater. I'm not a cake eater. That's what it looks like. Now you know what a Jell-O mold or a bundt cake mold looks like, and now you won't say, "What's that? What's that look like?" Looks like avocado. I know where you were going with that, with the seed removed. I know where you were going with that. Is that what you're saying? You were thinking of food, but I see you saw I know what you were going on. Yep. Okay, so 2 pi from 0 to 1 of x times negative x squared plus x and now you just distribute the x and that's going to give you 2 pi times the antiderivative from 0 to 1 of negative x cubed plus x squared dx. And as far as setting it up, that's your setup. Comprende? I like that problem. I like that one, and I like the ones I've showed you today, especially the, I'm trying to find one more. Here's one that I want you to look at and set up. It's a little bit different, but I'll let you finish that one. And go ahead and finish it. Take the antiderivative and take it down to a number so you'll have it in your notebooks. And then I'll put this one on the board and you can work on it while I take the roll. That's going to be negative x to the fourth over 4 plus x to the third over 3. So that's going to be 1/4, negative 1/4 plus 1/3. 3, negative 3/12 plus 4/12. Okay, whatever. What'll come out today? I'm doing it in my head. Leave me alone. No, tell me what the negative x. It'll be negative x to the fourth over 4, which is 1/4, which will be 3/12, right? Mm-hmm. Negative 3/12 plus 4/12. It's 1/12, right? Okay. Which is 5 or 6. Okay. I was trying to do it in my head, but it worked well. So 5 or 6 is what? 3 over 6, which is 1/2. So your volume of this function is 1/2 cubic units. Now you may think, oh, Lou, that's small. Yeah, but you're thinking of a bundt cake. This thing looks more like what's that big around? Okay, it's got a little hump. Okay, it's not very big, like avocado. Okay? Yeah, that's fine. Got to pick on somebody this morning, and Faith is not here, so it's got to be somebody. Okay, I'm gonna call the roll, and well, let me give you one more, and I just want you to work on this one because it'll go in with your homework is working because I haven't even done it yet, and that is, I'll just draw it. around the y-axis. And the function is sine of x squared. Y is equal to the sine. That pretty much sucks. Y is equal to sine of x squared. What are y'all laughing at? Y'all got to share.
So for your sine or cosine or tangent.
Whatever. And it goes to square root of pi. And that's it. That's what? Oh, because of the trig. It's not. It's not. And I'll finish it tomorrow or Thursday. Because I haven't even done it yet. Okay, let me do this. Freeze it for you. And that way I can pull up. And where is TCTC? What? X always is going to be the radius, yes. Good. Pulled something out of the lesson today. Good, that's great. You're the only one, but I'm glad you did. Everybody else sucks. Please put your name on the bridge that you designed so I will not go over it. Okay. Ahmed was here. Anderson is here. Bradshaw. I don't remember adding him. Edwards. I can't remember Skype, so y'all speak up if I know Miss Anderson's here. Grant is here. Hutt is here. Khalil is here. Nabay is here. Patel is here. Peer is here through Skype. Scobie is here. Sheik is here. Silver is here. Thompson is here through Skype. Tucker wasn't able to make it today. Quisenhunt is here through Skype. And Williams is here through Skype. Did I miss anybody? Only people missing is Tucker, which she texted me. Edwards and Bradshaw. Okay, y'all got any questions from the peanut gallery at home?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it off, and I'm gonna put a homework up. It'll be called Disc and Shells. If it's not already up, is it already up? I think I just did area between two curves, and so I'll be putting up disc. I'll just call it volumes, okay? And that'll be the last homework before this next test. Okay. I'm gonna break this test up into two tests. Most of it's going to come from everything that we've done. The second part's going to be rates and work, which we're going to spend a week or two on both of those. Okay?
All right.
Probably I'll tell y'all that Thursday. Okay. See y'all.